Morning, folks. Just going to hold it here for a little while, just to let the audience build, because I know there's a number of model builders who are members and viewers on VGEEK TV, some more professional than others. And when you talk about model building, this kind of like ticks all the boxes. One thing I want to show you quickly is the detailing that they've put in here. Obviously, spent a lot of money on having this built. The A350 1000 cutaway. Interesting to see up there. Crew rest bunks, which is interesting. A little forward galley here. That's the crew seat for landing and takeoff. Little galley there, look at that. And got a cup of tea ready there, or water jug. Move a little bit further down the aircraft now. Posh seats, this is the posh end of the aeroplane. Upper super duper class. Interestingly enough, the loo that is forward, the forward WC, has a window on it. Let's just have a look and see if it's on that other one. Oh, it's been covered over, but I can assure you. Let's have a yeah. Even got a little head-up display. How about that? How cool is that? So, moving down the cabin. Obviously, this is configured. This is just for detailing purposes, and just to give people an indication as to the kind of cabin layout that they can have, depending upon the customer and what layout they want. As you can see, as we witnessed yesterday, and we'll witness today, the A350-900 that's specially designated to look at the cabin space and how to best utilize it more upper class. Then we move back to the economy seats. There's a lot of seats there. Obviously, this is highly configured. How about that, folks? Now, we did a walkabout a couple of days ago with the A350-900, ITA's A350-900. Just going to go down on the floor a bit. It's something that we've seen pictures of, isn't it? You know, seen many pictures of this flying wing. A lot of people talked about this. That's an interesting concept, isn't it? You can see that working as well, to be honest with you. I can totally see that working. Obviously, seating, by the looks of it, whether that's glazing over the top as opposed to out of the side. I think that possibly is what it is. Don't think they're solar panels. But I think that is the passenger's windows, sunroof style view. So that's a zero emission aircraft, and I'm guessing that that would be H2 powered, which it is. There it is, look at that. Hydrogen powered, and that's what Airbus are very conscious of and working hard on at the moment. I can see that definitely being an aeroplane of the future. So all you youngsters out there, get ready to be amazed. More electric flying machines. Just going to let these guys go. Of course, don't forget that Airbus have a huge military and space program as well. Here's one of their military helicopter models. Who wants that in their front room then? I don't think the missus would be very happy with that somehow, but yeah. You can use it as a scratching post. A400M. We've got one of those here, folks. The replacement for the Hercules, really, and big competition between that and the C-17, the Globemaster. Look at those big carbon blades. Maybe get up a little bit close to that in a short while. They've got one parked up outside. So we're going to move on out. And here it is. Here is the beautiful. Now, I think all of the press have split away into individual groups. Now, I know that quite a few of us went through this thing with a fine-tooth comb the other day. Now, what Aaron, if you remember Aaron from Airbus in Broughton or Broughton or however, where they basically make the wings, where they assemble these wings in Wales. Of course, we're not talking about the entire wing, we're talking about everything excluding the flight surfaces, flaps, leading edge slats, all the air brakes and so on and so forth are all assembled, I believe, as individual components when they reach Airbus in Toulouse. And this particular aircraft, IFF, as I don't think it's actually been delivered yet to ITA, but we've all been sort of like raving about this new ITA livery, and that's something that we don't see from a distance, that we don't see with that nice little sort of like blended design in there. Look at these beautiful canoes here, folks, which are they house the hydraulic systems, well, actually more so the winder mechanisms that control the flaps, so everything will drop down from that split point there, and of course they're canoed like that for aerodynamics, because obviously that would otherwise be a very draggy part of the aeroplane. Of course, the key these days, and has been always really, is to create minimum drag by maximising the curvature of parts and so on and so forth. Even the undercarriage doors are beautifully sculpted. Look at that. So a lot of you techie folks out there enjoy the walk around and a good close look at this main undercarriage here. Absolutely spanking new. She is clean, not a speck of dust on her, really, is it? If you look at this axle versus the 777 axle, you'll find that this is actually a slightly wider, broader axle. And of course with the 1000 you've got another set of wheels in front of us. And the mid axle is actually slightly narrower in order to not need any tilt mechanism like they do on the 777 and on the 767 and I think on the 757 as well. But that's pretty unique to Boeing. But you see, Airbus have gone with a very straightforward design in order to negate the need for all that heavy, more hydraulic systems, hydraulic pumps and levers and so on and so forth. In order to, it's interesting that the I'm seeing it's interesting to see that that hydraulic ram there. Now, whether that's to take impact or whether it is a very slight tilt mechanism, which I can't imagine it would be, because of course of the linkage that you're looking at there. There's nothing there, but that is on a link there. So there's no reason why that that hydraulic ram there cannot tilt the undercarriage. So I wonder if there is a very slight tilt in it. So I'm completely wrong, in other words. We'll have to find that out, or whether that is because the aircraft kind of lands very, very flat with its wheels, with its tires. When they touch down, it generally tends to land flat, and that is a skill that the pilots have, obviously, of bringing the aircraft in so that the undercarriage is completely flat, facing the landing surface. But maybe that is just to take the initial impact, because it's always coming down on the ever so slightly on the front undercarriage. We'll have to see if we can find that out from an engineer. As you can see here, again, we've talked about this many times. Carbon discs there, you can actually see the disc there. That's the depth indicator there, which when that reaches a certain point, obviously it's time to change the discs. But there's the hydraulic pistons that you can see there. That's the equivalent of what's on your car, but instead of there being 2 or 4, depending on what car you've got, this is a 2, 4, 6 pot caliper system. And you can see there that grubbiness on that one down there. That is brake dust. So that's why these aircraft get so grubby so quickly, because of the brake dust. It is something that cannot be helped. But a very nice, pretty simple setup with the hydraulic hoses, hydraulic lines, beautifully machined CNC alloy segments at the back there. May actually be cast initially and then CNC'd to finish. Not a lot of travel in her, which you don't really need, to be honest with you. That is, I think when you equate that travel on that short stanchion, that's actually equivalent to quite a lot. 244 psi of dry nitrogen. These tyres. That's pretty impressive, isn't it? Pressurised unit deflate at servicing valve point B before dismantling. So that's that upper strut that we're talking about here, and that is a big strut, isn't it? That's a big strut going up all the way up into that undercarriage bay, and you can kind of see how it works. Okay, I've got 1 and 2 and 4 are moving. And I've got one Wi-Fi connection. Is the modem on? Okay, good. Tell you what, nice and cool underneath this A350, man. It's very, very cool. It's cool to the feel and cool to the look as well. Oh, my back's very wet. This bag weighs quite a lot, and it's on my back. Right, we're good to move, GP. Okay, before I was so rudely interrupted, folks, looking up inside this undercarriage bay here, Safran, who we've talked about many, many times, manufacturers of this undercarriage unit, as well as manufacturers of many, many other components in the aviation sector. It's actually looks busy, but really, in terms of what I've used to be seeing when I look up inside the undercarriage bay of a 707, that's pretty basic. And as you can see, the two linkages either side and those hydraulic rams get the whole thing moving. That hydraulic ram will start the movement, and the famous springs, which are quite interesting. Okay, so that's the undercarriage, folks. So we're going to double check and see whether there is a linkage system which just tilts the undercarriage ever so slightly, maybe when it is extended, and it doesn't move any time after that. I don't know whether I've not noticed any tilt when the aircraft's taking off when we see it on picture TV. Okay, moving on to the engines, ladies and gentlemen. Rolls-Royce, British Engineering, XWB. Just a quick one, and there's that vent that we've seen before. Now we get a close-up look at it. Now, next time you watch Big Jet TV, especially in the colder conditions, interesting that is an overflow for a number of different components. So gearbox, fuel pumps, hydraulic pumps, fuel shroud. So when you see the little gases that come out of that, which is more like, you know, steam, more than anything, like an overflow of steam that you'll see, vapor that comes out. That's what we're looking at. More apparent when she's on slow taxi, or and then just before she powers up, you get that noise as the valves close and they apply full power. That's the vortex generator, folks. Now, when we're watching the aircraft, especially in cooler conditions where you see the vortex being thrown up and over the wing, very apparent on the A380, not so much on the 350 unless you're getting very sort of like cold moisture conditions, but that's something to look out for in the future as well. Doesn't look that big, but trust me, it's a big old deflector panel. So looking into the back end of this Rolls-Royce XWB, you can see, even though this is a very large engine, I mean, I'm standing here and it's dwarfing me, but all the different exotic materials going in to make up this engine's covers. So that's the exhaust. Let's just see if we can get a better shot from this side. Should be able to. That's the exhaust cone that you can see there. Obviously, exit point there, but also air around the engine as well, which is passing through all these different segments of the engine. The low pressure turbine, the high pressure turbine, the combustor. That's all shrouded at the moment by this beautiful carbon shroud. And this is the slider panel that you see here. This whole panel here slides that way when she's landing and applying reverse thrust. Let's go to the front of the engine and have a look at this, these beautiful big blades, titanium blades. It's a Kevlar lining inside here, and you can see how thick that is as well. So when we talk about the outer diameter of the engine, a fair portion of it, I'd say that's about 300 millimeters in total depth there. So it's over half a meter of the OD of the engine. But look at these beautiful big blades, which are blown titanium. And of course, being as there's no carbon element to it, there's probably some carbtanium inside it, I'd imagine. But means that they don't need that leading edge titanium part, which is for breaking ice away. And our Rolls-Royce engineer, quite rightly so, mentioning about the pointy. Oh, just on cue, she starts to look at the tolerance in that, folks. I mean, look at that. That's about 1 mil, is it? Is that about 1 mil or 2 mil at the far edge? Wow. Thank you. And there's the core of the engine, you can see right the way through. Static blades there, just to guide vanes that you can see behind the main fan blade there, which are the guide vanes to guide the air through, but also to hold the entire core of the engine to the outer casing. Very, very smart indeed. Forward leading edge of the wing. These are air conditioning packs that are coming out of this. So if we go on board this aircraft, it's going to be nice and cool inside the cabin. Might have to keep Yeah. How you doing? Is that all right? Well, we're just going to have to see what happens. It's a nice little arty-farty shot with the two Air Baltics air crew walking towards the aircraft. That's the A220 right there, folks. Let me just give you a little tiny shot, which you don't see very often. I want to show you this image. Of course, don't forget that these are not only press people going on board these aircraft, but they're also potential buyers. This is what Farnborough is all about, primarily. Look at the two noses there, and how much I always say that the A220 is very much like the A350's little brother, isn't it? One day you'll grow up and be one of these, mate. Okay, we're just waiting for the last of the journos to. There's our man on top of the steps. Okay, he doesn't want to be on camera because he's just a little bit shy, I think. Right, okay. All good? Hey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you doing?
Good,
I'm Jerry
you.
from Big Jet TV.
I'm Rodrigo, nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you, Rodrigo. Are you going to show me around the inside of the aircraft,
Yeah.
or are we good to do our own thing?
I can show you, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, we'd like to do the flight deck as well, if possible.
Yeah, there's a bit of a queue at the moment.
Is it?
But if you don't mind waiting
So by the time we get from the back to the front, we should be...
I think there'll still be a queue, but
Is it?
yeah, but we will definitely have
We
a
can come
chance.
back up there.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to be... So do you mind being on camera?
No, that's fine.
Okay, Rodrigo, do you want to tell us what your position is at Airbus and what you're going to show us here, this beautiful aeroplane? Of course, we know a lot about it, but
Yeah, hello
in
everybody.
your own words.
My name's Rodrigo, I'm with Airbus Widebody Marketing, and here we have the ETA A350-900, the latest A350 that ETA's got received. Today, ETA has an in-service fleet of 6 A350-900s, and which is part of their fleet renewal. As you know, ETA's ambition is to become one of the greenest airlines in Europe by 2025, and to do that, they've partnered with Airbus, and we're really proud of that because they've selected a full Airbus fleet from the 220 that you've got there and we're going to see after, all the way to the 350, passing with the 320neo and the 330neo. So a full all Airbus fleet that's going to power ETA into a more sustainable operation, and their ambitions of becoming the greenest airline in Europe by 2025.
Wow, I think there's a lot of airlines who would tend to disagree. However, like Virgin, for example, who are very heavy on the Airbus side as well, but with also their 330neos. But I'm very surprised. That's great to hear that the 330neo, the 220, the A350-900, all coming on stream with ETA. That is just so they've got real ambition, haven't they?
Absolutely, yes, and we're there to support them, not just with the sale of the airplanes, but all the life cycle that comes with it, including services, including different aspects of the all the product line that we offer.
And of course, in time, these aircraft will start to be delivered, maybe
Yes.
down the line with sustainable aviation fuel options.
So today, just to tell you, all our aircraft are certified to use up to 50% blend, and Airbus's ambition is that 2030, all of our aircraft will be able to run on 100% sustainable aviation fuel.
And it's all. It's just. It really is. All it's going to be is down to availability of the SAF, isn't it? You know, because that's a major issue in terms of
We
availability.
certainly need, as an industry, to work together
Yes.
into making sustainable aviation fuel more available.
Yes.
And on our side, and with our partners from Rolls, on making the technologies of the aircraft and the engines ready to
Yes.
accept that use and to be able to fly with it.
Yes.
Once
Now
it's
I've flown
there.
on this bird many times now, so I'm very familiar with the interior. One thing I do want to show the audience is just how big those overhead bins are.
Oh, they're
And,
massive.
I
They're the
mean,
largest of any wide body you can find.
honestly, when I put my recycle bin out in the mornings now, when I lift the lid, the only difference is it comes out from the side in these things because they are massive. Let's go on board and have a little look.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, we got some. Just keep me posted on Signal GP. Wow, that's big news for ETA. All Airbus fleet. Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
Oh, it's nice on here.
Yeah,
It's nice on here. Okay, folks, we're going to have a walk through the cabin. Of course, again, remember this is ITA, or ETA. They like to be called ETA, don't they? Not ITA.
ETA Airways, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
ETA Airways.
Yeah, well done,
Interesting.
well
Okay.
So welcome aboard. In this aircraft you will find there's 334 seats in total, divided in 3 classes. So here we're in the premium class, so the business class section, where we got 33 business class seats. This is a Collins Super Diamond seat, which is flat bed, like flat seat, very comfortable. And the 350, on top of sustainability, is also about passenger comfort, as you know.
Of course.
You've flown on it, and no need to remind you that it's the quietest wide-body aircraft when it comes to cabin noise. Also, when it comes to exterior noise, straight sidewalls.
Like the that's the whole XWB thing, isn't it? Because it's not completely cylindrical. It's got a slightly straightened off sidewalls.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, I like that you've got 2 windows here for the passengers.
Where every single passenger gets a window.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Minimum
And-
of 1 window,
Yeah,
but
no,
in some spots, have to
Yes.
remember that one. Number 3 got 2 in there.
Yeah, exactly. On this area, you do have the center bins. However, some operators may decide to not have them to increase, the cabin space for
Yes.
the premium section. And I'm really sorry. And this is possible because you've got this massive bin that we're talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So on a bin, you can get 5 carry-ons. So if you were not to have the center bin, that wouldn't be a problem at all on the business class section because passengers have enough room on the side.
Of course, and that carries on right the way through the cabin, these big bins as well, doesn't
Yes,
it? So,
yes.
yeah, very impressive.
This is a typical setup of what you would get when flying with ITA. You have your bed,
Yeah, it's
very comfy.
Very comfy indeed.
Yeah.
And very a privacy screen as well.
Yes.
So a lot going for it. Very nice indeed. Yes.
IFE is a Thales Avant IFE. We do have other options, of course, but in this case, this is what you find.
So what's the deal with because one of my big beefs is whoever I fly with, and I won't name any names, but whoever I fly with, there's always a problem connecting to the Wi-Fi. Is that something that's going to be made a lot easier in future with the IFE and?
Well, what I can tell you in this aircraft is that this is the most advanced technologically speaking aircraft. So it's got a digital backbone that can really enable a lot of different technologies going ahead.
I see,
So,
yes.
in this particular aircraft, you do have Ka band connectivity for wireless internet.
Yes.
And it's really working well for customers.
Once it works, once you've got it actually set up, it's actually really good. But it's actually connecting to it that is sometimes a real issue. But that's different on any aircraft. On any aircraft, but also on any provider that you fly with, any operator. Haven't tried ITA yet, and I'm interested to do so. So
I'll be happy to hear your comments once you do.
Yes.
I'll be very happy to fly with them as well as soon as I can.
good stuff. Okay.
Really looking forward
So
to it.
we're
Now
going
we're
through.
moving into the
Hi there.
we do have here 2 classes.
Yes.
What ITA calls comfort economy.
Yes.
And
Now this is the one that I generally tend to fly on, which is a great seat.
In this case, they have 5 rows,
Legroom,
so
right.
34 seats of comfort economy with their reserve overhead bins. You do find a Recaro CL3710 seat with 34 inches pitch. Very, very comfortable.
Recaro, eh?
Yeah.
Wow. So car seating going into aircraft design. That's really interesting.
Well, not only the car seats, but actually I'll tell you that the interiors were designed by Walter da Silva. And maybe our cabin crew would be happy to comment on it.
Okay.
Brunello Cucinelli,
Tell us about these
uniform
wonderful seating
design.
then.
Walter da Silva, inspired by the sand of Sardinia, the blue of our sea, the white of our marble.
And the uniform designed by Brunello Cucinelli.
Yes, very nice. Very Italian.
Yeah,
We like
absolutely.
that. We like that. Fantastic.
Elegant, fantastic. Yes.
Okay.
And
Thank
then
you very
we
much.
move into the economy seats.
Now the economy is still very comfortable, isn't it? It's
It is extremely
really
comfortable.
Yes. Yes.
Now, something I like to point out is that in this case, ITA decided to go with a 9 abreast configuration, but the 350 could certainly accommodate a 10 abreast configuration to densify the cabin, to maximize revenue, without any sacrifice of the comfort, of course.
Yes.
And those are configurations that we've delivered. We've delivered 10 abreast configurations. So that just tells you about the possibilities of a new generation aircraft like this one when it comes to maximizing and adapting to the different business models.
Yes.
From low cost to the most premium and exclusive carriers.
And it just allows the seats to be ever so slightly wider, doesn't it, for more comfort for the passenger.
Absolutely.
Not
yes.
feeling so cramped.
Yes. And that's really up to the operator, but we do offer the possibility to have these different configurations.
Yes, and your 350-900 is is specialising in how to best work with space inside the cabin.
Yeah, I mean, we have the most comfortable cabin, really, and this shows from the passenger feedback. But it's not only the cabin, it's the aircraft overall that's got excellent reliability.
Yes.
And when it comes to performance, to fuel consumption, it really has no competitor. It's really way ahead of competition in CO2 per seat, up to 25% lower CO2 per seat when compared to previous generation aircraft. And when compared to project competitor aircraft, we're down to 15% advantage.
Very good, very good indeed.
And it is all enabled, as you know, by the technology on board this aircraft.
Yes.
We start with the lightweight. It's a very light aircraft.
Yeah, well, it's carbon, isn't it?
It's got over 70% advanced materials, primarily carbon fiber, a lot of titanium, advanced aluminum alloys.
Yes.
And it's powered by the most efficient large aero engines, the Trent XWB.
Yes, yes, indeed. And behind you there is the.
So here we have well, the intermediate section. We've got lavs. This you'll see it's a PRM compatible lav. So what it means is that a passenger with reduced mobility
Yes, that's
can
really
be transferred. We will open the middle partition so that you get the space of the two lavs.
Yes.
And then a person with reduced mobility could do the transfer on his or her own.
fantastic.
Allows
Well,
them full independency.
yes, very, very well thought out, and it's good to offer that.
Yeah.
Mood lighting in here is very nice.
Yeah, and I'll ask our lovely cabin crew to explain what are the scenarios ETA has decided to use.
Okay. We have different scenarios from takeoff, from boarding. Boarding is the blue one, is the color of ETA. Then we have takeoff and landing. This is this green one, and then my colleague is changing the color now to sunset and tonight. The transition from Sicily, the color of Sicily, yellow and orange. No, this is, I think this one is, yes. It's
Very
night.
nice,
It's
very
night.
nice. I feel like I want to go to sleep.
Yeah, yes.
It's really soothing. Like
Yes,
these
very
on
soothing.
top of the other passenger-oriented features. You
Yes.
know, the independent temperature control zones, the lower cabin altitude pressure, you know, the humidified air, the wider seats, the more space. It really all helps for passengers and for the crew. Absolutely.
The passengers are happy. We are happy as well.
Absolutely. Now this is my seat that I usually fly on here.
Okay.
This one here, purely because of the access.
Okay.
The forward access, and it's by window as well. So that's folks, if you're wondering where I normally sit, this is the one. This one is 49A, I think. No, this is 50A.
50A.
So on other aircraft it will be different depending
Yes.
on the configuration, but there is generally I think you'll find that on almost all operators they will have this 2-3 configuration for you to allow access out, so you don't have to disturb the folks next to you. So there we go.
Take a look at the gallows.
Yeah, we'll try. We're losing a little bit of our connectivity. We'll have a go. Okay.
Are we still on? So, bars.
Okay, GP, just stand by. Let's just check our connection now. Julie, what's the connection? Okay. Okay, well, we'll just do what we can do at the back here, yeah?
Jerry, just can we make it less of an interview with Rodrigo?
Okay.
Dal punto di vista diciamo del parte estetico il nostro
Is there anybody on the deck?
Avevo un piccolo dubbio con gli aerei piccoli, ma sono sottolineate tipo 2 mesi fa, l'ho visto per la prima volta, ero qua.
Want to make a picture?
Anche se al netto mi manca
Just a second, it's finishing.
con cui sono cresciuto, quindi io
Will we be seeing you at the press conference later?
Maybe not, because we're live.
Okay.
So, but we've done a lot of stuff with Airbus, so we're very happy to be doing
In
this.
case you change your mind, we...
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you. Okay, folks. So here you go. All bells and whistles. Been on a flight deck of the 350 a number of times. Now look at the glass on that. How's the feed, Julie? Okay, look how minimalistic that is, folks. And of course, the big thing that you can notice here is the fact that there's no central yoke like with the Boeing. So lots of opportunity for extra space. He's got a pull-out tray there, or she, and there is your controller. Which is just insane, isn't it? There's your tiller. So very open plan, lots of space, very spacious flight deck. Now, interesting that the head-up display is obviously an optional extra, because I'd imagine that the A339 is available with the head-up display, so it's easy to transition between the two aircraft. So, because I was under the understanding that the head-up unit wasn't available on the 350, purely because of the reason that it's not on the 330. So I think they may have transitioned to that now that they're obviously phasing out the CEO variant of the Airbus A330 and bringing on stream the 339, which will probably have that facility on it. Right. Are we done there? Beautiful flight deck, folks. Beautiful flight deck. It's nice and cool. People often mention about the sheepskin seat covers. I think that's to just A, for comfort, and also to reduce sweating. Is that right? So this is a centre seat, which we get a when they do pilot affiliation and stuff like that, you'll have a training captain who will sit themselves here, or possibly be in the left or right hand seat, depending on what the configuration is for the day. But there you go, open plan. Great stuff. Okay, GP, we're going to walk. Thank you.
Thank you. See you later, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully see you later. You really want me there, don't you? Right, folks, we're going to head off to the A220 now. I'll tell you what I want to do is this gentleman. Can we talk? Can you just drop me an email and then we'll have a chat? We'd love to do more stuff with Rolls-Royce, especially on ultrafan. Very interesting. Yeah, round here. Okay. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Cheers. Okay. So 220 now, folks. I think. How we doing, Julie? How we doing? You all right?
Fine.
Thanks. How you doing? Yeah, you all right? Everything okay? So, really, Airbus did a very sensible thing with getting hold of the program, renaming the aircraft the A220, and she is a beautiful aeroplane, much in competition with Embraer, of course. This one running the Pratt & Whitney engine. Again, that we've looked at before. Very sleek flight deck. again, much like the A350. Now I've been on board the, are we good to go? There's still people on there, yeah?
Yeah, there's a bit of a
Okay.
lineup, I think.
Let's just have a little wander around there. So again, we saw this, the cutaway, well not cutaway, but with all the cowls open yesterday up at Pratt & Whitney. But here it is with all the cowls closed. Big beautiful fan blades. These are carbon blades on the Pratt & Whitney power plant with a leading edge titanium segment to it. And of course the Pratt & Whitney is identifiable by that blue sleeve just forward of the fan blades. Much more compact and small. So yeah, and you can see how deep the wheel well needs to be for these aircraft, folks. So that's just one wheel bay.